One day, Singura the hare, roaming through the forest in search of food, glanced up through the boughs of a very large calabash tree, and saw that the great hole in the upper part of the trunk was inhabited by bees. Thereupon he returned to town in search of someone to go with him to help get the honey. As he was passing the house of Buku, the big rat, that worthy gentleman invited him in. So he went in, sat down, and remarked,
"My father has died and left me a hive of honey. I would love you to come and help me eat it."
Of course, Buku jumped at the offer, and he and the hare started off immediately. When they arrived at the great calabash tree, Sungura pointed out the bees' nests and said,
"Go on, climb up."
So, taking some straw with them, they climbed up into the nest, lit the straw, smoked out the bees, put out the fire, and set to work eating the honey. In the midst of the feast, who should appear at the foot of the tree but Simba, the lion. Looking up and seeing them eating, he asked,
"Who are you?"
Then Singura whispered to Buku.
"Hold your tongue, that fellow is crazy."
In a very little while, Simba roared out angrily,
"Who are you, I say? Speak!"
This made Buku so scared he blurted out.
"It's only us."
Upon this, the hare said to him,
"You just wrap me up in this straw, call to the lion to keep out of the way, and then throw me down. Then you'll see what'll happen."
So Buku, the huge rat, wrapped Singura the hare in the straw, and then called to Simba the lion.
"Simba, stand back. I'm going to throw this straw down and then I'll head down myself."
When Simba stepped back out of the way, Buku threw down the straw, and as it lay on the ground, Singura crept out and ran away while the lion was looking up. After waiting a minute or two, Simba roared out,
"Well, come down, I say!"
and there being no help for it, the big rat came down. As soon as he was within reach, the lion caught hold of him and asked,
"Who was up there with you?"
"Why, Singura the hare. Didn't you see him when I threw him down?"
"I didn't see him, okay?"
cried the lion in an incredulous tone. Without wasting further time, he ate the big rat and then searched around for the hare, but he could not find it. 3 days later, Singuru called in his acquaintance, Kobe, the tortoise, and said to himself,
"Let's go and eat some honey."
"Who's honey?"
"My
inquired
father."
Kobe curiously.
"My father."
Singuru replied,
"Oh, all right. I'm with you."
said the tortoise eagerly, and away they went. When they arrived at the great calabash tree, they climbed up with their straw, smoked out the bees, sat down, and began to eat. Just then, Mr. Simba, who owned the honey, came out again, and looking up, inquired.
"Who are you up there?"
Then Singura whispered to Kobe.
"Keep quiet."
When the lion repeated his question angrily, Kobe became suspicious and said,
"Am I right in I will speak. You told me this honey was yours, and am I right in suspecting that it belongs to Simba?"
So when the lion asked again,
"Who are you?"
"Just us."
"Come down then."
"We're coming."
Now Simba had been keeping an eye open for Singura since the day he caught Buku, the big rat, and suspecting that he was up there with Kobe, he said to himself,
"We're going this time." "Sure."
Seeing that they were caught again, Singura said to the tortoise,
"Wrap me up in the straw, tell Simba to stand out of the way, and then throw me down. I'll wait for you below. We can't hurt you, you know."
"All right.
said Kobe, but while he was wrapping the hare up, he said to himself,
This fellow wants to run away and leave me to bear the lion's anger. He shall get be caught first."
Therefore, when he had bundled him up, he called out,
"Singura is coming!"
and threw him down. So Simba caught the hare, and holding him in his paw, said,
"Now, what should I do with you?"
"It's of no use for you to try and eat me. I'm awfully tough."
What would be the best thing to do with it then?
"I think you should take me from the arm, whirl me around, and knock me against the ground. Then you might be able to eat me."
So the lion, being deceived, took him by the arm and whirled him around. And just as he was going to knock him on the ground, he slipped out of his grasp and ran away. And Simba had the mortification of losing him again. Angry and disappointed, he turned to the tree and called to Kobe.
"You come down too."
When the tortoise reached the ground, the lion said,
"You're pretty rough. What can I do to make you eatable?"
"Oh, that's easy. Just put me in the mud and rub my back until my shell comes off."
Immediately on hearing this, Simba carried Kobe to the water, placed him in the mud, and began, as he supposed, to rub his back, but the tortoise had slipped away, and the lion continued rubbing a piece of rock until his paws were raw. When he glanced down at them and saw that they were bleeding, and realized that he again had been outwitted, he said,
"Well, the hare has done me today, but I'll go hunting now until I find them."
So Simba the lion set out immediately in search of Singura the hare, and as he went along, he inquired of everyone he met.
"Where's the house of Singura?"
But each person he answered,
I don't know.
for the hare had said to his wife,
Let us remove from this house.
therefore the folks in that neighborhood had no knowledge of his whereabouts. Simba, however, went along continuing his inquiries until one presently answered,
This is the house. That is his house on top of the mountain.
Without loss of time, the lion climbed the mountain and soon arrived at the place indicated, only to find that there was no one home. This, however, did not trouble him. On the contrary, saying to himself,
I'll hide myself inside. When Sundara and his wife come home, I'll eat them both.
he entered the house and lay down, waiting their right. Pretty soon along came the hare with his wife, not thinking of any danger, but he pretty soon discovered the marks of the lion's paws on the steep path. Stopping at once, he said to Mrs. Singura,
You go back. Simba the lion has passed this way. I think he must be looking for me.
No, I will not go back.
Although greatly pleased with the proof of his wife's affection, Singura said firmly,
No, you have friends to go to. Go back.
Sweet persuaded her, and away she went back, but he kept on, following the footmarks, and saw, as he had suspected, that they went into his house.
Oh, Mr. Lion is inside, is he?
Then, cautiously going back a little way, he called out,
How do you do, house? How do you do?
waiting a moment, he remarked loudly,
Well, this is very strange. Every time as I pass this place, I say, How do you do, house? And the house always answers, How do you do? There must be someone inside today.
When the lion heard this, he called out,
How do you do?
then Singura burst out laughing and shouted,
Oh, Mr. Simba, you're inside, and I'll bet you want to eat me. But first tell me where you've ever heard of a house talking.
Upon this, the lion, seeing how he had been fooled, replied angrily,
You wait until I get a hold of you, that's all.
Oh, I think you'll have to do the waiting.
cried the hare, and then he ran off, the lion following. But it was of no use. Singura completely tired out old Simba, who saying,
That rascal is beating me. I don't want to have anything more to do with him.
then he returned to his home under the great calabash tree.